Welcome back. So, well, I mean, I gotta just address the whole thing. I said I'd be back on January 3rd. That is, not quite what happened. Yeah, so it seems like my performance issues, well, I didn't have as bad of performance earlier in the year, or like in 2025, but what seems to be the problem is RAM. I am running out of RAM. I'm running barely anything, but, I swear to you that I am running barely anything. Just the game, my VTuber thing, OBS, Discord, AMD Adrenaline thing, and I used to use Chrome, which I know was real bad, but it used to be fine. I used to get, maybe not this performance, but like, well, okay, this performance because the game is currently frozen up. Let me alt-tab over. Oh no. Well, let's close Steam, that might also help. Oh god. I mean... So... yeah, okay, I'm also in Levski. Oh my god. Sorry, apparently I'm maxing out my CPU. That's not... that should not be happening. What? Okay. I haven't tried spawning in at Levski. Perhaps that's part of it. Levski... performance isn't what I want to talk about, but apparently I just... oh my god, I really should not be in Levski. Jesus fuck. There are many more things I would rather talk about, because those things are more valuable, I think, to talk about. Oh my god. Oh my sweet Christ. Holy fuck. Can we, like, have 2 seconds that actually work? What the fuck? Sorry, yeah, there's... I mean, okay, so there's a few things. More than a few things, probably. Well, performance, I mean, clearly could always be better. Although, like, this is odd. And I think, like, the thing is, so, the important part of the, oh, I don't have enough RAM, is that Star Citizen is running at 16 gigs, maybe slightly above that, which is, I think, what it advertises. So, yeah, if you have 16 gigs, if you only have 16 gigs, you don't have enough memory to run Star Citizen. You need to have, you know, like 24, which is... which, I don't know... like, this has never been a thing I've had to consider with any other game. So, like... but that's more of a personal situation. So, like, I don't know, if... when a game recommends that you have 16 gigabytes, or says that the minimum is 16 gigabytes, I mean, I guess, like, the game is going to should expect 16 gigs. I guess that's fair. That's not... certainly not the end of the world. What is... hold on. I think also I am at Levski, and why is Parsec open? I never use Parsec. What the fuck is wrong? Don't... do I have... oh my god. Files Explorer, apparently. kind of a memory hog as well, which allegedly, which is a bit odd, but okay. I could also probably just drop. Didn't I? Why are there 2 things of Dropbox? Why are there 3 things of Dropbox on the task manager? What the fuck is happening? Why are there 7? Like, why are there several? Okay, I don't know what the fuck's happening. We're just gonna roll with it. Okay, yeah. God, there's so many things that Star Citizen could do better. God, I guess, like, real, lightning round of things I missed. CQ7. Jesus Christ, the game just does not like Levski. It doesn't like landing zones in general, but I haven't like ran around anything else. This is just the performance I'm getting. And not even the performance I got before. What the fuck? When I was streaming. So that's okay. CQ7 is good, fun. It's just an assault rifle. It's the silly thing, though, that, like, the P4 is shorter than the bullpup. But that's because like, they did not designate things correctly. But that's okay. Jesus Christ. This is, the hangar is opening. I think my ship blew up or something. I'm not sure, so I think this is a fresh ship. Sorry, okay, CQ7, is cool. The heavy armor, the super heavy armor, I haven't played PTU, so I don't know what the Arlington is like, I don't know what the super heavy armor is like, I don't know what the minigun is like. They look fine, I guess. Super heavy armor, I don't even know what to really think, to be completely frank with you. We're getting out of Nyx. This, I don't know what's going on, dude. Like, on stream it was fine. I gotta, like, restart my computer probably and make sure everything's good, but this is not looking great. The only problem I have with the Arlington is that the only problem I have with the Arlington is that it has a goofy cocking animation where you rotate the gun 45 degrees to the side. That's stupid. That just looks bad. And that's not how you would use a lever action. God! And it's the same sort of thing of, like, the CQ7 being longer than the P4AR is funny, but it's not like, it is what it is. Now there's some pop-up. Steam? No, Steam, I told you to go. Get out of here, Steam, you're drunk. Now we're at 94 instead of 98 for memory usage. God. I need to get more RAM, I think, is what I really need, but I'm not made of platinum bars, so I'm gonna sneeze in a second. Oh yeah, but the Arlington is just like, they, like, Star Citizen feels like a lot of it's developed and produced off of vibes, and those vibes just are sometimes real wrong, and it feels like nobody cares or nobody checks in with things, and it's that's how I feel a not insignificant amount of the time. Like, the crafting thing, the whole dismantling nerf, like, that broke so many things. Like, that's like, it feels like it's saying that, oh, hey, we only want you to do one way. Like, the way that so much of the level design, so much of the level design in this game now is just real linear paths. You don't have options. You just go to a place. There is one path, and you only have, like, one objective, and you just go through it, and it's not a sandbox thing. And I don't know where the fuck we lost. I don't know where the fuck we lost that. Especially because, like, you know, people are like, oh, well, you know, Squadron 42, but they mentioned several times in Squadron 42 that things are supposed to be, you know, you can approach, like, it is a linear experience, but you can approach it from multiple ways. You can use stealth, you can go guns blazing, you can do this, you can do that. There are multiple paths. Why is Steam trying to just... What the fuck is happening? Oh my god, there's nothing... I'm freaking the fuck out, and it has nothing to do with Star Citizen. I mean, kind of has something to do with Star Citizen. I am... Fucking... What in the fuck is wrong? Why is Steam trying to open... Oh, like... Stop! When I hit end task in Task Manager, I want you to go! I want you to sleep! Jesus. Okay, sorry. I'm a dumb bun and I'm freaking out at random shit now. Speaking of freaking out at random shit, the Star Citizen live, the Siege of Orison live stream, God, I didn't watch the entire thing. I've only watched bits and pieces. But man, like, I'll tell you what, it makes me want to turn off. It makes me want it again, because everybody's saying, "Oh man, this is a shit show." Like, you know, this was bad, but it wasn't like, it was not a shit show, you know, like. So for the uninitiated, what it was is that they used a clean server, only for people in an instance, only for people on the server. Steam! What the fuck? Okay, I gotta figure out what the fuck that is. I'm maxing out my memory because Steam refuses to die. Oh my god. This is buttery smooth though. As it should be, because this isn't that crazy. Jesus Christ. I think honestly I should just leave Steam to do whatever the fuck it's doing. It's like one of the... more intensive programs. Is why I'm trying to close it down. Anyway, sorry, for the uninitiated, yeah, clean server, clean instance, just 4 people on the server, and desync was still happening, laggy, unresponsive AI, and inventory issues, all that stuff that people blame on servers, was still happening when the servers were perfect. So it's not a server issue, it's a netcode issue, or a base code issue. I don't know. I'm not a software engineer, but it is... Okay, we're now at 92 memory, so Nyx is literally just using more RAM. I was at 98 going into the jump point, and now I'm at 92%. I'm telling my friend that. I'm telling Solar that. Anyway. So that's bad. I mean, the reason maybe it's people fairly call it a shit show is honestly like the chemistry and the vibes were off. It was kind of just boring to watch and kind of uncomfortable, cringe. And I think like I don't know, and a lot of people are just like, man, everybody like fucking hated Ollie. Like, what the fuck was happening here? And like, it just made a lot of people uncomfortable in a way that's like, this is not like I don't I don't want to see any of these developers on Inside Star Citizen ever again. I think I'm going to be uncomfortable seeing them. A little to some degree, or I'm going to think about this time where Elliot just like shot his teammates, was just a toxic teammate. Like and him doing that, like, is that like, does that mean he's a bad developer? No, not at all. But like. So, yeah, and, what has been recommended, and I think is a better idea, than to just do a straight live stream, especially, I mean, I don't know, I mean, there's, like, the stereotype of developers not being very sociable, and I think that might, track, instead, have, like, Jared, have, like, you know, 4 people streaming or whatever, have your group stream, and then, have, like, you know, Elliot, or, you know, a game designer, a developer, you know, talk about a thing that they're demoing or that they're streaming, you know, Jared and Elliot, or, you know, anything. And you could do so many things. It doesn't have to just be the latest thing that's happening. It could also be, you know, it could also be something like, I'm gonna heal up. Sorry, it took me 18 fucking minutes just to get out of Nyx. Jesus Christ. To get out of Levski, to be fair. You know what, actually, I'm sorry, that's not true, because I had the recordings, like, there's a minute of dead time at the beginning of the recording. Anyways. But yeah, they could have just developer commentary, and they could show potentially features that are being worked on. They could, you know, demo some other things, like, yeah. I'm trying to remember. The sub flare for August was garbage. I think, like, I can say that confidently, objectively. I'm fine with a weapon being the second tier of subscriber stuff, of subscriber flare. The first one, I'm fine with it being clothing, but if it's an outfit, a single piece of clothing, like, at this point, let's not fucking kid ourselves. Like, the video content is, Inside Star Citizen is not about the development of the game. It is about, this is the latest patch that's come out. That's it. And Star Citizen Live, like, behind the ships is not actually behind the scenes of anything. It is very much in front of and just showing off the ship, not talking about the development of the ship. And Star Citizen Live, I mean, it's got Benoit, it's got some other people, but it doesn't really, like, talk about development. It doesn't, like, really... I think probably saying that about Star Citizen Live is the least fair But it does feel like it's been, a while since we've had a meaningful thing that wasn't Benoit, which is useful, but also, like, I don't know. There's also, like, I still really think that, like, Benoit feels very optimistic about everything, and that's not necessarily a bad thing to be, but it just doesn't, like, when when all of this shit is happening, it just feels like I need some, like, real hard, like, I need to see, like, where we're at. I don't want a promise that is not going to be kept. You say 6 months and I know you mean 12. Or I know the reality is at least 12, And, like, come on. So, like, that kind of a thing is, just, I'm tired of, to some degree, right? Sorry, and I was gonna say that Subflare is only subscriber stuff and the jump point, and, like, your money is not going towards... If your money is going towards Inside Star Citizen, like, they're not doing nearly as much shit as they used to. And, like, having a single article of clothing instead of an entire outfit, I mean, I can understand that, like, I could understand that, how they're pricing armor, sometimes maybe doesn't make a lot of sense to have a lot of heavy armors, and they have been, recently, I want to say that there's been a lot of heavy armors, not a lot of light armors, some mediums, some lights, and of course flight suits. And maybe when Starware comes out, we can better justify having an entire outfit, as a, piece of gear on the store, but, like, right now it's just that's absolutely ridiculous. And, like, I mean, the whole, like, crafting blueprint thing with, oh, hey, if you buy a thing on the gear store, you get a blueprint. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't mean a blueprint to craft the item. No, obviously not. You get a blueprint to craft your, you get a blueprint to craft the paint on it, to make the cosmetic blueprint. Yeah, that's the thing that we meant all along, and we didn't actually say until crafting was out. And had the entire community guessing. So, like, when they pull shit like that, like buying stuff on a promise of, oh, well, I can just put a oh, well, I'm gonna buy this jacket on the gear store because I can just throw it over armor. Oh, jacket and armor... A jacket and an armor are the same slot, so actually you can't do that. Oops. That doesn't feel good. That feels like what could easily happen with things like that. That doesn't apply to a balaclava, but the balaclava, I don't know how much it is, but it's probably like $2 on the gear store, which is like, are we serious? I don't know. And, yeah. I don't know, and there's just like... Oh, also the Basher, I don't know, and I don't care about the Basher. I mean, like, it... Okay, in all fairness, it does kind of look cool, I guess. But also, like... apparently... So it uses the, components off of a bunch of different ships. And, all of those components are shrunk down versions, which makes no sense because that means that they had to, like, new manufacture these things or whatever. It's like, okay. And it's like, people are like, oh man, I hate the fact that, like, there's this broken rebar that is the exact same on every single Basher, and it's like, what is happening? I was like, sure, an argument could be made that that's just game development. That's just like, yeah, we're just gonna use the same model for every ship. We've done that for everything else, so why would that be a problem? And, you know, Gray's Market, they actually have cosmetic kits, so far for, all their ships. Actually, I guess not the Basher. I think they did talk about getting, cosmetic kits for the Basher in monthly update, I believe. But yeah, the idea that, oh, this is supposed to be a ship made from other ships, but actually, these Buccaneer engines are shrunk down versions of Buccaneer engines is a bit silly. Definitely a little goofy. You know, to some degree also, these are the Star Citizen weeklies are just an excuse for me to get to wherever I need to go. I will say that when I checked out the Pyro Asteroid bases, and some loot was spawning, and I haven't been there since, like, the first day I tried it out, but it was just getting worse and worse, like, nothing spawning, so it's like... I don't know, I mean, that's like... I mean, it's a base code, netcode thing, where, like, clearly it's not repopulating the loot pool for those areas, so, you know, I mean, if you're not gonna repopulate the loot pools, then why should I repopulate your servers? Yeah, anyway. Also, like, the only real ship news is that the Stingray is coming out. I mean, there's other news, I guess. They're progressing on stuff. There's the Galaxy cockpit that looks exactly like... It looks at least 99% like the, At least 99% like the, Perseus. And people are like, what the fuck? And I'm kind of like, what the fuck? Like, there's reusing things, and there's reusing there's reusing, you know, a modular kit, or using a modular kit, and there's just reusing assets, and it looks like that's just reusing assets, and that does not look good. At least, it doesn't look good when you, gave a concept art of something vastly different. Anyway, oh, the Stingray. Yeah, the Stingray is the big thing. I am hoping that the Stingray is a Cutlass competitor, but I don't... I'm hoping it is, but I don't really have any reason to believe it will be. It could be. I think it's definitely, like, smaller medium ship. Size 2 or size 3, so, like, a Cutlass could be something like that. It could have variants, so it could have, like, a cargo variant, could have a living variant, a bomber variant. I don't think we really have Kruger Intergalactic, like, fully defined as a company. Right now, it kind of seems like they're a higher-end, like, a luxury combat brand, but they can swing that in some different ways, so we'll see. But I don't know. I haven't seen any files or leaked anything, but the suspicion is that it's a medium fighter. Could be heavy fighter also. Who knows? It could be a light interceptor as opposed to a light fighter. There's a lot of things that it could be, I suppose. Yeah. So, God, these things are always so long. Yeah, let's see. Anything else? Anything else with the development specifically? actually talk about the development of the game. Like, I don't, like, this is infuriating, kind of. It's like, this is just a thing that got me into the game, and now it's not here, and all I'm left with is a game that kind of feels like shit at the best of times. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to be fixated on the disassembling nerf, but the disassembling nerf, I mean, genuinely just felt like a huge kick in the teeth. That is like the thing I wanted to do, and then it just was gone without any official explanation as far as I can tell. And yeah. And like, I mean, if I miss something, then please link it to me. If you're a CIG employee, please tell me, because I want to know. I know I said in the last video, I think, that there was this one dude on Reddit who said something, but that is just a dude on Spectrum. Spectrum, not Reddit. I don't know if it was Spectrum. I don't know if there was a correlation between the thing, or if it was just a odd coincidence, but yeah. Talking more about development would be great. While I was on break, I played Helldivers, and oh my god, I mean, Helldivers also has its own problems. Funnily enough, like, there was supposed to be a war bond in June, and then it got pushed back. And then basically what happened was that the things inside of the war bond were given out as free rewards if you logged in during each individual campaign. And then, I mean, obviously it's probably only half of what was going to be the war bond, and maybe the other stuff that was planned is still going to happen, but who knows. Yeah, so it gets delayed. Don't hear anything about it. Get these free campaign rewards, and then randomly in Discord, somebody like weeks later or months later is like, "Yeah, we canceled them." And it's like, that is, wow. That, like, really? This is the communication we get on things. So it's just funny to hear people being mad about Arrowhead's communication while I'm also mad at CIG's communication as well. But one thing that Helldivers 2 does way better is that, like, everything, it feels like a fucking video game. It feels like a game. Everything has its place. Everything slots in. There's, like, SMGs and assault rifles and LMGs all feel like they're the same thing. Just slightly different numbers, but they're not really that distinct. Like, LMGs should be really big and should feel heavy and clunky, and you can't, like, and you're gonna get outmaneuvered just because you're carrying like 20 pounds of steel. And an SMG is like great in close quarters, but as soon as it tries to shoot long range, it's gonna struggle. And like, man, I don't know, like, there's other cool things that you could do for certain. Like, man, if you had, like, if I were CIG, I would absolutely make it. Okay, so you don't have a pistol slot and you don't have a utility slot. You have like 2 secondary slots, not 3, like you currently do. 2. You have one for the right hip and one for the left hip, and you know, you can equip 2 med guns, you can equip 2 multi-tools, you can equip 2 pistols, you can equip 1 of each. Or you can equip not 1 of each, but you know, you can equip a pistol and med gun, pistol and a multi-tool, whatever you want. Just as long as it fits within those requirements, and like, that's, I think there's a lot of more interesting, well, that's just one thing, that it's like, you know, I think that's just a better way to do it, in general. You know, you can have, I mean, like, armor. Armor needs to feel like it's actually different. Like, light, medium, heavy, super heavy. Like, they all have to actually feel unique and, you know, different from each other. They can't just feel like light is a worse version of heavy, and, like, this is a thing they've talked about and never, like, you know, like, finished or done anything. The super heavy backpack, I think, or the super heavy, God, what is it, the Vendetta? The Vendetta backpack seems fucking rad as hell. Because it's a backpack, but, you know, it's just for ammo. You can't have a regular-ass backpack on it. Like, what if you had other things? What if you could have a portable shield generator with the size 0 shield and all the things? But it didn't have any storage, but it had a shield. What if you had a ballistic shield? I just really like that. A jump pack or an EVA pack. Now, I mean, like, like, Star Citizen doesn't need to be Helldivers. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that those would just automatically be amazing ideas. But, like, come on. Just feels like... And also, while I'm talking about backpacks, like, I wish... Like, they want to do a thing where, like, heavy armor has, like, servos in it or some shit. So, oh, yeah, heavy armor, you can actually carry more stuff because it's, like, supported or whatever. Well, okay, so make it a thing. Make it a thing where it's, like, heavy backpack could carry, like, this much to this much. This is the range of stuff a heavy backpack can carry. You know, like... But if I use a heavy like, I could use a heavy backpack on any armor, but, you know, if I use a heavy backpack and it's full of stuff, and it's on medium armor, it's gonna count. I mean, it depends on how you want to, like, count it, I guess, but, either there's, like, a 50% reduction with heavy armor, or there's, like, a 50% or a 200 or a 100% increase in weight if you're wearing like, heavy armor has a 50% weight reduction on items or something, and then or you could say it as having a heavy backpack on light armor gives you, like, 100% more weight or something, or items weigh 100% more, you know, that kind of a thing. I don't know which would be better to do, but I'm just like... Well, to be completely honest with you, I'm just like... I started, like, getting into 3D printing again, and thinking about putting together cosplay, and I'm like, God, I don't want to use this stupid Arrow backpack. I want to wear this armor, but I want to have a Warden backpack, because I like that way more. And when you could put it on medium armor, it looked really good. And that seems like a way more interesting thing of, like, yeah, is everybody just going to get a heavy backpack because it carries the most, or are people actually going to be tactical and realistic and, oh, like, yeah, if like, I don't need to be a loot goblin. I don't need to be a loot goblin, I could just, I could just... bring a small backpack on heavy armor, bring, like, spare ammo, bring, you know, spare ammo, med pens, and, you know, call it good. And, that might be way more efficient. Or, hey, I am a loot goblin, but, like, I have to be smart about things, so I take my heavy backpack with light armor or something. Hit him fast, hit him hard or whatever, and then I, after the fighting is done and I don't need to worry about running, you know, that's when I start looting everything. And it should be, like, it's limited by volume, not weight, but weight is a thing. I think that does work. I also think that having like a portable shield generator pack, I originally thought that like heavy armor or maybe super heavy armor should have a backpack like that. And I don't think that would be a bad idea, but definitely they could just do a regular ass backpack. And I think like if I were developing, like if I was going to make that feature, I'd be like, hey, we want to try like this shield gen backpack. We're not going to commit to it being for everything. Oh god. Oh god, did I really get a spare mag?
Moving up. Yeah, I got ya. Next one is your
I would be like, hey, I would just be like open and honest, just that's like, hey, we want to do this thing, but like, or we want to have a shield generator pack, we want to try it out, we want to test it out. We want to test it out as a, we want to test it out on every armor. We want to see what happens, what builds people do, see if it's feasible or if it's completely broken. We might make it like exclusive super heavy armor at some point. But like, can you imagine CIG saying something like that? And it's like, it's an alpha. It's an alpha being like, hey, yeah, here's what we want to do, but we might change it in the future, and here's like where our mind is at. Because, like, I mean, like, sometimes they do that, but not a lot. Not enough, some might say. It's like, ugh. So, yeah. And I don't really care if there's a shield pack. I will say that I don't know what an EVA pack would look like. I don't know if an EVA pack would be a jump pack, or if maybe it would just be a, yeah, if you wear this and you fall a great distance, it'll break your fall. Maybe. Maybe it can be used as a parachute, maybe it can be used as maybe it can be used as a means to, you know, as an EVA pack to get around space. Maybe it can be used as like a jump pack in, or maybe it can be used as a jump pack that just is like one big jump. I mean, I guess basically, really, the Atlas Geo, that maybe it can be used to hover. But, you know, obviously, like, there's got to be some limitations there, and, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's certainly interesting things they could do. It's just a matter of, like, are they going to do it? Because also not every game needs to have, like, well, I'm also thinking, you know, there's other things from Helldivers specifically that are just, like, look so, like, make it feel so interesting, and, like, your choices matter, and, like, loadouts matter, and you have to put things together with an actual synergy, and it's not just, oh, I'm going to take a pistol, oh, I'm going to take a primary. Like, snipers and assault rifles have you know, are fairly different weapons, but even then, you could probably use them in the same situations to, you know, varying degrees of success. If we're honest with ourselves. Whereas, you know, like, I mean, Helldivers, yeah, like, you bring different assault rifles. like, there's a bunch of different assault rifles, but they're gonna be good for different things. And sure, like, I mean, you can take a light pen assault rifle to pretty much anything, and it has a place. You can take a medium pen assault rifle, and it's going to, you know, behave slightly differently. And there are advantages to taking both, to taking, you know, either one. Then there are secondaries that are actually, like, that aren't just the sort of, like, you know, that aren't just good for dealing with chaff enemies, or just good with dealing with basic enemies, or only good as a backup. You know, like, there's an actual, like, legitimate reason to just bring this one thing. Like your missile pistol, like your Talon, like your Senator. It's like, oh, hey, this thing is actually, you know, deals a lot of damage very slowly. And it is a pistol, but, you know, it can actually take out some heavy enemies, being a Magnum fucking revolver. And you just don't really get that vibe. And maybe, like, Maelstrom to some degree could increase that or change that with FPS gameplay. And obviously, I'm just talking about FPS gameplay. As far as I know, as far as I feel, like, people say that, you know, Star Citizen is more of a ship game. That's, you know, while I might not completely agree with that, it, like, you can't lie. Ships are a huge-ass part of Star Citizen. So, like, ship combat, sure, shit didn't feel like... I mean, yeah, like, they tried to have this whole thing where, like, light fighters fight other fighters, heavy fighters fight larger targets, medium fighters, I guess, are in the middle, even though sometimes you have, like, well, a Hornet can actually do a better job at fighting larger ships than an F8, because the F8 just has a lot of small guns, whereas the F8 has fewer larger guns. And they made those changes when those ships existed, and, you know, I guess didn't think about it, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, so, like, I don't know. There's, like, a shitload of, and that's, to some degree, more balanced things. I mean, like, they have the guns in-game, they have working, you know, combat physics, they have working bullet physics, and, you know, like, things that can be tweaked and changed and updated to make them more interesting, and that's, same applies to ships, same applies to mining and everything else. I don't know if I'm hitting decoupled accidentally or coupled accidentally and I'm not thinking about it, or I am intentionally thinking about it and forgetting about it. I don't know. Yeah. So, but yeah, CAG, if you're listening to... Oh, also, if you want to have a shield, like a ballistic shield, two things you can do. There's the gadget slot. You can have the shield attached to the gadget slot. And, I don't know exactly how it would work. You could have, potentially, like, if you have a secondary and you hit the gadget slot, it automatically goes to the shield. If you pull the shield out, potentially you could just pull the shield out. It would have to be a retractable thing, right? You could also have it so that it either goes to the backpack slot, to the gadget slot, or the backpack slot, if you don't have a backpack. Maybe a weapon slot, that could also work, but who knows. That's certainly one for the I don't know. I would assume, I would greatly assume that they would have it so, yeah, like they're not going to make the P8SC a one-handed weapon, which is something that Helldivers would do, which isn't, like, I don't hate that fact, although, you know, they could probably play around with a few of those things. The Ripper should be a secondary. The Ripper should never have been a primary SMG. It should have been a secondary. I will die on that hill, I guess. Maybe I won't die on it, but I will stand on it. Yeah, shields and jump packs. I would love that. It would be I'm a loot goblin. I am a loot goblin. Not having a backpack would probably hurt, but there has to be some good reason not to bring a backpack to everything, and that would be a great reason. Also, I feel like I'm kind of digging my heels in that I just don't care about Star Citizen as a ship game. There's so much better monetization they could do with everything. God, if they did paints like Warframe, God, Warframe is just like, I don't want to say the best like paint monetization scheme, but it's a really good one that people should copy more. And the fact that like it's like, God, add a paint system is a complaint I've had with sci-fi games. You know, it's only happened twice, but it's weird that it happened twice, you know, type deal. God, but yeah, no, there are totally ways they could make could do some interesting things with monetizing things and making FPS combat more like, oh, if you want to do FPS combat, huh? Well, if you want to head to the gear store, you can get some tier 1 items that are not great. You're gonna want to upgrade them, but you can get them. Are you going to have an advantage over anybody? No. You can get these in-game extremely easily, but you could still buy them if you want. You want to head up on mining? Yeah, you can buy gadgets. You could buy them in-game. You know? That kind of stuff. Like, if you want to throw us money, you can. That's cool. I'd be okay with that scheme. I know some people would throw $1,000 at the game to have 500 P4 ARs for no reason. 250 P4 ARs with $1,000. 200 or 250, depends. Anyway, I guess also I should say that, like, so before my goal was to get an 890 with, that was the goal to grind for, I don't really care, but if we're gonna be honest, I mean, the 890 would be lovely to have, right? But it's expensive, and, like, it's gotten some upgrades, sure. And I think, ultimately, if there was any, like, oh, I need to grind for this ship, I think it would be the Odyssey, which means that the closest thing to it is the Carrack, so, and I know the Carrack has its own share of problems, but, I think that's what I'll end up trying to grind for as my new short-term goal. I really hope that the dismantling thing, where you can dismantle all the components of a weapon and you get 60% of them back, or 50 or 30 or whatever it is, I really hope that comes back. I really hope that we get a player market soon after the social tools. Frankly, the social tools, they might try and bring a few things in, like party logging, which could help with the Carrack. Could help make the Carrack seem like a good choice to bring. Yeah. So yeah, and also, like, the vibes for Star Citizen are, like, at an all-time low. Oh, Squadron 42. Now that I'm back, like, Squadron 42 is a thing that needs, like, we need, they're still saying that it's coming out in 2026. If you believe with all your heart, that there is no chance that Squadron 42 will be delayed into 2027, you are insane. You are insane. There's three things I think that could happen. One, it gets delayed to 2027. I don't think would be a bad thing necessarily, as long as it's the first half of 2027. If not, then it's like, it's gonna look bad and be like, okay, CIG's like, I don't have any faith in them. I don't have any trust in them. I don't have any faith in them. Like, I'm a captive prisoner at this point. I love Star Citizen, but God, CIG, like, they fucked up too many times for me to really, like, you know, have any ambition of ever joining them as an employee. Right? That ship sailed. that ship sailed. Anyway, it gets delayed till 2027. October, it gets a shadow drop so that it comes out before GTA 6. I think that somebody at CIG thinks that they can manage to make that a really good thing. I think that's horrible. I think that I almost want that to happen, though, just so it's out the door and we can just move on with our lives. But yeah. Third and more hopeful, optimistic thing is that it comes out in December. And I honestly would unironically be completely happy with them saying it's coming out December 31st. We got the Super Mario movie this year on April 1st, so CIG can release Squadron 42 on December 31st. It would be really funny if it was Christmas. I don't know what day Christmas is. It would be funny if it was a Tuesday or Friday. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. I think that 410, as I record this on April 9th... Oh, I missed 4-Day. Well, I started recording this on 4-Day. Anyway, I think that as of the week of August 10th, 2026, or I guess of August 9th. Anyway, I think 410's coming out this week. I think it's going to come out whether we like it or not. I think it might come out on August 12th, which is an interesting thing. Because I stream Star Citizen. I stream games on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And I'm streaming Star Citizen on Sunday again. And usually Wednesdays. This week I'm going to stream Star Citizen on Sunday. And Star Citizen on Monday, because I would regularly play Helldivers on Monday, and there's a title update coming out, and a new and a Warhammer 40k Legendary Warbond crossover thing coming out on August 12th, and if I had to choose between Star Citizen 410, Alpha 410, or Helldivers 2 Squid title update, Illuminate title update, I'm picking Helldivers every damn day. So I don't even really give a shit about Warhammer, and I'm still more interested in the Warhammer part of it probably than Star Citizen right now, to be completely frank with you. So that being said, I stream Star Citizen Sunday and usually Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/Railu, Railu with an underscore at the end. Link is in the description. Yeah, until next time, have a good day, a great day, even. Chowskis.